You know, when you sent in this story about Chandanpur, it really got to me.
Hmm,
A village cursed for generations because of a broken heart. There's something so relatable about that, even with all the fantasy stuff.
right. It's that mix of folklore and real, raw emotion that makes it so interesting. You see that in stories everywhere. Love, loss, the desire for happiness,
Yeah.
all mixed up with things we can't control.
And it's not just some far off legend, it's about people dealing with the effects of something that happened centuries ago.
Wow.
Makes you think about how something like that would change over time, shaping how an entire community sees itself, you know?
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How one event, one single choice can echo through generations.
Yeah.
And in this story, that choice is all about this Baba Rudra.
Yeah, Baba Rudra. The story makes him sound almost mythical. He shows up in Chandanpur offering healing and prosperity. He's practically worshipped by the villagers.
At first,
At first, exactly.
like a classic story, right? Someone arrives promising a golden age, only for it to be ruined by one fatal flaw.
Oh, for sure.
And for Baba Rudra, that flaw is his love for Anika.
And the saddest part is, Anika loves Arjun, who sounds like the perfect guy, a farmer, loves his village.
Yeah.
You just feel bad for all of them stuck in this triangle.
Yeah, and it's that very conflict, that inability to face reality that destroys Baba Rudra. His reaction to Anika's rejection, it's not just heartbreak, it's like he falls apart.
Like a switch flipped, right? He goes from this revered sage to cursing the whole village, saying no one will have a happy marriage.
Wow.
It's just hard to wrap your head around.
And this is where the story goes beyond a simple villain curses village thing.
Right.
It forces us to look at the darkness inside ourselves, the destructive power of emotions running wild.
Yeah.
Baba Rudra becomes a warning, a reminder of what happens when we let our pain control our actions.
It really makes you wonder, what were those villagers thinking? Going from so much hope to utter despair, living under this curse, seeing marriages fail all around them.
Can you imagine carrying that weight? Each generation doesn't just inherit the curse, but the fear that comes with it, the stories, this feeling like they can't escape it.
It's like it's self-fulfilling almost.
Exactly, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's like they're stuck, but they don't give up hope, you know? They
Right.
try everything to break free rituals, offerings, even going to outsiders for help. It's pretty inspiring how they keep going.
Definitely. It shows how much humans need to believe that even the toughest curses, the worst situations can be beaten. And that's where Miri and Rajan come in.
Exactly. They change everything. They're in love, yeah, but more than that, they refuse to let this curse run their lives.
Right.
They actually look for a solution. They find Pandit Vishwana, this guy who seems to know every ancient ritual and forgotten story there is.
It's like they embody generations of hope.
Yeah.
They aren't just giving in, they're taking charge. And it's interesting, Pandit Vishwanath doesn't just offer some easy fix, some magic spell to erase it all.
It's more complicated than that.
Much more.
He says to break the curse, they have to face the source, ask for forgiveness, not just from Baba Rudra, but Anika and Arjun too.
That's right. He gets that the curse isn't just some outside force, it's tied to the emotional damage at the heart of it all.
Yeah.
Real healing, he thinks, means dealing with those wounds.
So it becomes bigger than just breaking a curse. It's
Right.
about facing the past, seeing the pain that's been passed down.
Absolutely.
Makes you wonder if things could have been different if they'd had that kind of understanding back then.
It does.
But for now, back to Mira and Rajan. They find themselves at that old banyan tree where it all began, all those generations weighing on them.
I can only imagine.
They can practically feel it, right? All that expectation, the hope, and the fear all mixed together.
Yeah.
They do the ritual, you can practically smell the incense, feel how tense it is.
So what happens?
Well, the story says the whole atmosphere changes.
Oh.
This cold wind comes in, then it's eerily quiet,
And then,
and then Baba Rudra appears.
wow. This is it. The moment of truth.
But he's not that kind sage we heard about before, is he?
So what's he like?
The story says he's full of rage, twisted by centuries of bitterness and regret.
Oh, wow.
He wants to know why they've disturbed him.
Can you imagine having the guts to stand there to face all that pain and anger head on?
I know, right? But Mira, she does it. She tells him about the generations who've suffered. She begs him to free Chandanpur.
Wow.
It's powerful, you know? Instead of being scared, Mira shows Baba Rudra what his actions have really done.
So does he change his mind?
Well, his response is not what you'd expect. Baba Rudra, he says his spirit is bound to Chandanpur. He can't find peace until someone offers their life to break the curse.
Oh my
He
God.
gives them this horrible choice.
It's like it's even crueler that way.
Right. A little bit of hope, then this awful price.
What a situation for Mira and Rajan.
I know. They wanted to break the curse, not become part of it.
Exactly.
But Mira, she's amazing. She steps forward, ready to give her life for her village.
Wow.
It makes you think, how many others must have faced that same impossible choice?
Right.
It says a lot about Mira that she doesn't even hesitate.
That's true.
But what about Rajan? He can't just let her do it, can he?
Of course not. What happens?
He tries to stop her, of course, but Mira's mind is made up.
Wow.
She's accepted it. But then, right as she's about to meet her fate, something incredible happens.
Oh, I know.
The earth shakes, and that ancient banyan tree, it splits wide open, and this amazing light shines out.
No way.
And from that light, the spirits of Anika and Arjun appear.
Oh, wow.
But they're not angry, they don't want revenge. They look sad, yes, but also understanding, even forgiving.
That changes things.
It does, doesn't it? They've seen it all, the village's pain, Baba Rudra's torment, but they come back with compassion, not anger. It really makes you think about forgiveness.
Doesn't it?
After everything, Anika and Arjun come back with this sense of peace.
It's like they've moved beyond the tragedy.
So what do they say to Baba Rudra?
Anika, she speaks, and her voice, it's full of sadness, but also this plea for peace. She asks Baba Rudra to free Chandanpur and to find peace himself.
Wow.
Like she sees his pain as bad as the curse itself.
It's like she's giving him a way out, not just for the village, but for himself too.
Exactly.
She did love him once, and you can feel that. Not romantic love, but this deep care for someone trapped in their own darkness.
Right.
So how does he react?
Imagine centuries of rage and bitterness just crumbling in the face of true forgiveness.
Wow.
Baba Rudra. He breaks down. He weeps, not for himself, but for the pain he caused, the love he twisted into something awful.
And as he does that, the curse is lifting.
It's like you can feel the weight of all those years of sorrow just disappearing.
Powerful imagery, you know? The curse doesn't break because of some big magic display, but through understanding and forgiveness.
Exactly.
What about Anika and Arjun, though? Are they stuck, or do they find peace when the curse breaks?
Their spirits, they don't vanish when the curse is broken.
Mm-hmm.
They turn to each other, and it's like something beautiful rises above all that happened to them.
Yeah.
They embrace.
It's like proof that love lasts.
It is. Even death and centuries of suffering couldn't kill it.
And Mira, she was willing to give her life, right? Does that play a part in breaking the curse?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Mira's selfless act, it becomes this catalyst. It shows the strength and love that's still alive in Chandanpur. But the curse is gone, so her sacrifice isn't needed anymore.
Right.
Baba Rudra's freedom is her freedom too.
Wow, talk about a roller coaster of emotions. To go from the lowest despair to this sudden release, this hope coming out of the darkness. So what happens to Chandanpur after that night?
The village, it's like it's born again. Marriages aren't overshadowed by that fear anymore. Kids grow up knowing about the curse as a story, not the reality.
That's gotta be a relief.
Mira and Rajan, their love story becomes part of Chandanpur's history. They get married and help bring in an era of peace and prosperity.
It's a good reminder that even the worst wounds can heal. Even after the longest time, darkness can be overcome.
It really is.
Yeah.
But it makes you think, was the curse ever a real thing? Or was it just generations of fear holding Chandanpur back?
Yeah.
Did Baba Rudra need to be redeemed? Or was it Anika's forgiveness that finally freed him?
So many questions. And how much are our own lives shaped by the stories we tell ourselves, the stories we carry with us?
Right.
Chandanpur's story doesn't give us easy answers, but it sure makes you think about the power of belief, how much history matters, and how strong the human spirit really is.
It does.
Listener, you really sent us on a trip with this one. What do you all think out there?